So is that the connection? Okay. Screen 4, share. Missed the trade there, messing with the stupid stream. So now it's just a matter of does this long work here? Missed the trade there, messing with the stupid stream. You know, I need to really figure out streaming, or because it can be friggin' annoying that it doesn't work. So probably we'll have to look at that restream tool again, see if it's worthwhile. Oops. All right, do this in general. Streaming, we'll see if that's holding up. Welcome all. Missed the short there. Was messing with setting up the stream. Annoying. So now we're looking to maybe go long. Oh man, we got the fourth horseman. Oh man. All over now, man. We're going all downhill here. Yeah. Afternoon. So obviously the key there, once again, on the NQ, the Russell has been a little aggressive. Up about 2,400 here today. See if we can maintain that and not do any dumb trades here. That is the key. That is the key. Focus on. So where are we at? We're looking at, obviously we got the NQ, we got the CL. The CL is maybe selling off in a zone. Maybe we might want to do a CL trade here. Let's see what we're looking at here. Potentially do a CL trade here. Not get too aggressive. 3 lots. We're going to give it a little bit of room. So we'll put some trailing stops just a little bit above that. Either get taken out on our trailing stop for a loss of a couple $100, or we're going to make $600 to $800 there on that trade, possibly. That is chart 2 up there. Entered that right around the area where maybe I would have waited for a little bit more reaction, but we'll see how that's going to roll out. See if that's going to sell off here. It was right at the momentum check, so it's probably a bad entry. But we'll give it a little bit of room to kind of work itself out and sell off from there. We did get a counter signal, so I am selling against the level. So I'm not just guessing. So I'm selling against the level. Now we do have the GC. GC did not hit our entries on the sells. Did do the first reaction at the zone we expect. So we did see that first reaction. Also, if anybody could tell me if you can hear me, that'd be great. I'm sure you can. But afternoon, all. So it's obviously been a momentum long day. We do have a weekly. I mean, it's obvious there's a weekly high above 1255 on the index. So on the NQ. Now, as far as here on the CL, can we ride this down to maybe the momentum check here? Or is it going to come all the way down to 7926? That's kind of what I'm looking for. The first profit area really is 79.51. That should be our first profit zone. So 79.51, at least the trade has a little bit of room there probably. 79.51. See if we'll get taken out here. There we go. We were taken out on our first profit zone on CL at 79.51. Now we're trailing 2 stop losses on that trade, up about $120. Really simple fade there. Now it's either it's going to lose momentum and continue to go down, or it's going to knock us out here at our trade, kind of like right around our entry. Trailing stops are right around entry, so we're giving a little bit of room, but it is at a reaction zone on chart 2. The level on that, really the next level is right around 79 even on the CL. Did miss the sell on the NQ, so we're out of that trade. See where our next buy area is. Our next buy zone on the NQ is right around the 226. So let's not get too aggressive there. I would actually be around here, around 208. We might want to sell down to there. So I think what we look at here on this position here is we sell into this high, into this zone here. On chart 2, I'm looking at the level. We're looking at 264 in chart 2 for members. For members, chart 262. Thanks. Thank you. So on chart 1 that you see up here, the NQ, we're looking to sell that. It is at a momentum check, so we do need to be careful. This maybe has room down to 235. So I don't really want to chase the trade, but it might just roll over here. We are in the afternoon session. So, yes, I think I'm streaming not with OBS. I'm doing some other system, so we'll see if that works. Hopefully this stream holds well. I was going to have my nephew trade, but he's trading off to the side, so I figured I'll just do the afternoon session here. Where are we at? So we've got gold here. It's momentum long. I should have followed that up. The Russell's been kind of punishing me today. It's been one of my nemesises. So we'll see if the Russell did not get picked up on the Russell trade. So the Russell's kind of at a momentum check. We already missed that trade to short that. Let's see if we're going to get knocked out here of the CL trade here. I am live in Discord on the audio, so that's where the stream. So see below this video, you'll see Discord. So there's no lag, at least on the voice in Discord. So when I'm calling the levels, if you're trading there. Where are we at? Master Dijon, welcome to the server, Discord. What I was saying before, what I was sharing before is, I just had someone join the training, and what each module they're going through, they're sending their bulleted notes over DM. Like I said, that to me is showing you're really taking it seriously. And then, what I like to do is we go through the training, we can have a sit down assessment meeting for about a half hour, an hour. But what I like to see is, have you gone through the training? Because I'm not going to sit down with someone that hasn't gone through the training and is going to ask me questions that I've covered in detail, 6 different ways in the training. So,
stop field.
All right, we got stopped out. What did we get stopped out of? We got stopped out of our CL trade, up about 2,500. Now, I don't know about this sell on the NQ because it might just be using this level. So we almost need to probably reverse that and buy that. So let's not get too aggressive on the buy on the NQ because it might just sell off. But we're going with momentum here. We're going to just do 2 lots here. It did do a momentum check. So obviously chart 1 is the control for that, members. Chart 1 is the control for this trade, for this long trade. I mean, obviously you have a momentum check there. It's pretty obvious. But what do we see? We do see an RDA check on chart 2. So that was the best entry. So if you're entering here, you're entering a little late because it has to recapture momentum and bias. So you got to give it a little bit of room. You do have to give it a little bit of room. You have to give the NQ a little bit of room here to move up. If you entered right around here. So you'll see here, we see where my stops are. I'm giving a little bit of room. It is recapturing bias and momentum. Now, technically what I could do here, or what I should probably do, is probably move up my stop so I don't take a loss at all. Because this could be an overshoot, but it looks like it's going to go up. So I'm going to give it a little bit of room. I'm going to be a little patient on it. Did do a momentum move up. So, or it did do a momentum check there on chart 1. So, I would like to short CL again up in this zone. But we don't have any counter signals yet. So there we are. We're in 2 lots on the NQ. We're in profit now. Both of our stop losses are in profit. Hopefully we can stay in that as far as the market's not going to take us out. I hear music. Oh. All right. I'm going to have to mute you, man. So when you join in Discord, if your mic's on, it's going to come through. So just keep that in mind. Let's see if we can hold this NQ trade for a little bit longer, or the market's going to give us an opportunity for it to it's not going to take us out on vol here. I'll give it a little bit more room on one of these positions. So if it does come out and take out that high, then obviously we're up another couple $100, $800 to $900 possibly on this trade if it does hold. Otherwise, we'll be knocked out and we'll have to decide, do we short it? Do we go back in long? So we're giving it a little bit of room. It has recaptured briefly momentum. It's held bias. So, you know, the other way to trade this here on chart 2 is you just buy the pullback. Buy the pullback on the RDA check again. It's the other way to trade that. On this NQ here, I mean, buying every pullback with the expectation that momentum's going to stay long is probably the right trade. I'm happy with being in the positions we're in right here. So you can see at a little bit of rough trading morning, you know, still trying to get over my haze from treatment. But we're back on track. We're going to focus on not making any bad mistake trades here in the afternoon session. So if I'm scalping, or if I'm fading, they're going to be strong fades. Not going to do any weak fades. Otherwise, we're going to be just straight up momentum. Don't see any other opportunity here on something I want to get in because there is no counter signals. We either missed the trade, especially on I mean, where the Ruddy is probably going, the Russell is probably going for this 1940 level. So that's probably the first level I want to sell is 1940 on the Russell. So if it gets up there, that's kind of the first level, and I almost should trade up to that level. But we'll just put an entry up there. Then if we get picked up there around that range on the RTY. So here on the RTY on this chart here, the entry is way up here. So if we get picked up, we get picked up. That is a pretty expansive move though on the 1 hour. So it's almost like the other area we probably should look at here is right around 932. So we'll give it an opportunity to pick us up around 934, 933. And then there should be a reaction there. So I'm not just guessing. By the way, trade system we trade is it predicts the reaction zones, and then we trade patterns around reaction zones. So I'm not just guessing at these things. We're trading the system. The area that I earmarked there on the RTY chart, we expect a reaction there. Now, of course, getting picked up where we expect a reaction, we want to wait for a confirmation before we go heavy. So some of that trading is doing that. Yeah, use the 4 chart setup. So, you know, when I reference, you know, I will do, because I've changed my trading, the way I'm streaming, I will do an updated video, but really most members, you're trading one symbol. You're trading the MNQ or the NQ. So you're using the chart setup. So the 4 chart setup. So I'm using the 4 chart setup on these 4 individual stuff. I have 2 monitors that have the 4 chart setup. So I'm trading the 4 chart setup. And then when I'm referencing the charts, that's what I'm referencing. So just because, like I said before, I'm not going to stream anymore and hurt my P&L. Like, I'll just stop streaming. I just can't trade one chart because I don't trade that way. So I started that way. My nephew's starting that way. New traders are starting that way. Yeah. So I'll make a very clear video because I have changed my streaming up a bit. So I'll make a very clear video so everybody understands kind of how I'm trading and what I'm trading. But for members, once again, I'm calling these levels in advance, and I'm using the 4-chart setup. So for most members, I understand you're not trading 4 different tickers. So what you're trading is you're trading the 4-chart setup on one ticker, the MNQ or the NQ. So the levels I call are well in advance. I mean, let's look at the NQ and let's talk about our levels. So obviously, if we use chart 3, the golden time frame, we got a really important level right around. Sorry, need to focus or need to zoom in. We got a really important level around 261 using chart 3, the golden time frame. 261 holds. The longer it holds, the more probability it's going to continue to go up. We've got another important level on that alpha candle around 245. You should see that on chart 3. We got a relatively weak strong level, I would say, at 223 using chart 4. Your other strong level on chart 4 is 183. So, and we have another strong level above now, don't we? So you should be, if you don't draw these, you should see that we have a strong level on chart 4 at 276, 274. There's a strong level there. So now you have 2 levels to trade against. So now, if you look at chart 2, and I'll share this here in Trade Room Alpha. So in Trade Room Alpha, I'll share my screen, or I'll share this. Now maybe I might be able to find a way to do multiple streams. But this is what, in Trade Room Alpha, for members, like, well, I'll share it in the futures trading. So that's the levels. And then chart 4 is your, is our detail. So that's what we're trading. We don't need any more information. We've got 2 levels to trade against. And now we just need to decide, do we need to be in a trade or not? Right now, I haven't got picked up on anything. The GC trade, it's at a really interesting level. I should almost sell that GC trade. So we're going to sell gold here. We're going to sell against this strong level with the expectation it's going to sell off. So that's where we're at on gold. So we did a sell on gold. That is the 4th chart that you see on the screen. We are in one position, waiting for maybe a push back up to get picked up on a check and a failure. And how many positions do I have there? I want to make sure that I put a protective stop in there. So we'll see if we get picked up on more than one position here. We're going to do up to 4 positions on this thing at this zone because we're still fading the move. So we'll put a protective stop above. Our protective stop is above. So you'll see that here. That's our entries here on chart, the 4th chart here. We're fading that move. We've got a protective stop above. We actually should move that down a little bit. So I'll move that protective stop down. So now it's either going to come up, test that strong level again. Why is it not allowing me to move that protective stop? There we go. So now we're up about $40 on that trade. But once again, it's at a momentum check. So we'll see if it's going to use that momentum check, come back and pick us up and then sell off again. Or is it going to sell off? Things are starting to look like they're rolling over a little bit. So maybe things are rolling over. Maybe a slow rollover, what we're seeing. Maybe a slow rollover. What do you think? Maybe that's what we're seeing. Should we be shorting this? That's the question. I don't know. Don't see any clear signals that we should be Should be doing that yet. Oops, what happened there? That was crazy. We are still short on that gold trade on one. Don't want to size up. We'll size up if we get picked up on a pullback. So it is reacting at the first zone. Things have really slowed down volatility wise. Very slow. Make sure there's no news. I don't even check the sentiment of the news of the day. I mean, I might go every now and then to like Yahoo News, but like, guess we can look around the market while we're waiting here. Let's pull up Rexdog Maximus. Pull up our Rexdog chart. It'll be very ugly to look at, I understand, because there's a lot of stuff on it. But it has all of my indicators, all the levels. Let's look around the market. Let's see what we can see. We will start with big tech. So let's start with big tech. Let's look at Meta. Meta on the daily is testing the weekly open, or the weekly RDA. Sorry. Apple is testing. Well, obviously where Meta is going. Meta's trying to hit this level up here, right around 1.9. So it's not going to sell off. I don't think the tech market's going to sell off. I think long is probably that scenario to go here.
Order filled.
So I think long is, it might do a fake break here. But so far, everything right now that I'm looking at, okay, Amazon is looking to go up to, obviously it's doing the first reaction on the weekly open, but it's looking to test the RDA at 97.56. Microsoft is above the weekly open. It's going to go up to 273. Probably going to first have a problem with these gaps here. So obviously 262.21. So there's no reason to be short on anything here in big tech. Big tech, Google is starting to hit the first momentum indicator and have a reaction. It does have the weekly fast momentum indicator and then the RDA up here around 94.69. So Alphabet, Google is going for 94.69. That's where it's going. Tesla's probably up. Yeah, Tesla is going for this level up here for the mix 200. So Tesla's going for 217.50. That's where it's going for. It has recaptured bias and momentum. So any pullback on Tesla, I'd be buying if I was trading Tesla. My coin entries are holding up. I've been buying this whole thing. Like I said, I had an idea for coin as far as a 200% upside. So I'm buying coin. I do see a potential 200 upside on coin. I shared this idea. If you go to my profile in TradingView, I'll actually share it in TradingView, or I'll share it in on the chats so that you can see it. So I've been buying in this whole range here, and I'll buy all the way down to here, and then I might cut at a loss if it does massively go off, or if it does not do well. I am long here on the NQ initially. We're long. We're running a loss there. GC. I will put some trailing. I'll put a trailing stop on this one little baby lot here on GC, and we'll get out of the rest of this. And we'll just see if GC is going to hold momentum here. Is it going to sell off? So that one little baby lot on the NQ, we did get picked up. We're going to get picked up on the extreme bands on chart 2 on the NQ, but we're long. As we've seen looking around the market, there is no reason whatsoever to be a seller here. You've got no signal to tell you that the rollover is actually happening. So you're aggressively. Yeah, good to see you, Shoal. You know, the crypto market's awesome. I'm trading the crypto market. I will start, like I said, with my nephew being here, you know, we're working on how we move forward with what we're doing. So we're really doing a lot of things behind the scenes so that he can be involved. So we're really we're focusing on, while we're still together, working on a couple things. That way, when he goes back to where he stays, you know, he can what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, he can be focused on what he's doing, and I can be focused. We can come together remotely. But right now, since we're together, it's easy for us to sit down and talk and to figure out, okay, what's the best way to kind of move forward with him becoming a trader. You know, that's what's happening. I mean, he's we are working. I mean, though there is no other plan than him becoming a successful trader, right, Tony?
Sir.
There's no other plan. So the plan going forward is him being a successful trader, and that's the plan going forward. So there's no other plan. There is no other, like, he doesn't have any other job lined up, anything else. It's to become a successful trader. So that's my nephew's. That's what he's going to be working on. So while I'm here, we're also, he's helping bring Rexdog trading to kind of the next level, so that we're even supporting members even more, and we're going to be doing some exciting things that I'm excited about. So finally doing some things that I've been wanting to do for a while. We are really, there's no reason to be short anywhere. There really is no reason to be short. But you should be cautiously long. Here's the idea on coin. Here is the idea on coin. Share this in the is the idea on. All right. Now where are we going? Now let's look at one more thing. Did we look at NVIDIA? NVIDIA is just a beast. I did another idea on NVIDIA. I'm not like just bringing this up just because. I'm just showing you like, hey, the system works on everything. Here's the other idea I did on NVIDIA. I'd called this level, and then it's going to our RDA prediction zone. So I'm swing trading our NVIDIA. That was an obvious trade. I mean, that was, I don't say give me trade too often, but this was a give me trade. And I called this way back here. So, and I shared this with the group. So, look, I don't overtly say take these trades, just so you know. I don't share stuff and say, hey, take these trades. If I share something, I'm not just willy-nilly sharing it. I never thought I'd use the word willy-nilly. But like when I share these things, it's because I'm probably taking the trade. Now, you have to make up your own decision. But I just don't share things just randomly just for the hell of it. Like, you can almost guarantee if I'm sharing it, I'm in a trade already or I'm taking the trade. Now, anybody can ask and say, hey, dude, are you in the trade? And I'll say, yeah, I'm in the trade. I mean, the idea is very obvious. I explain the idea. I explain exactly what I was doing in that idea in NVIDIA. So like this NVIDIA idea, look, I explain exactly the trade and the swing trade I'm looking for. And I'm holding NVIDIA until it gets to that zone. That's the RDA prediction zone. If it does close above the weekly open, then we're going to be looking to take profits on 257. And I think that profit on this trade would have been right around 33%, maybe 40%. Not a bad swing trade for a couple weeks. So, my group is a little bit different than probably other groups you might. Now, let's see. Let me focus on the charts. Let me just not get off on talking about my stuff. Let me focus on the trades. We are long in the NQ, 1-1 lot. We did get knocked out of our GC trade. So we'll continue to short that. So we'll short that up here around 1855, 18. We do want to short around the zone. So we'll short here. We'll put a protective stop here. So we'll do 2 lots here right around 1854.9. And then we'll put a protective stop up here above the extreme band of the ATR on chart 4. Okay. Any questions? Anybody have any questions? Anything I can answer? So like I said, I share these things in Discord. My group is different. And also I'm not out there constantly touting my wins on Twitter. Like, number one, I'm barely on Twitter. Number two, like when I share something in Discord, I'm assuming that you are your own trader and you can look at my idea and you can either, it's kind of like, hey, this is on my radar. But I don't overtly say, like in other places, like, hey, take this trade. My goal is to teach you to fish. My goal is not to teach you to rely on me. So what I do here is not to like, why would you want to rely on another person for your trades? All right. We're in the afternoon, about to hit so we got about 30 minutes till the 13:15 pivot. So we might be selling heavy up there. We are up about 2,600 for the day. Let's see what else we can do. I don't see any other trades. I don't want to be heavy long, but it might just slowly creep up here. We do have an important level here right around on the NQ. Remember, I've already called this probably about 20 minutes ago. The 774 level, 274. Now we have another strong level below. So members, obviously the 250, 252, 25, I don't know, whatever that level is there. 25275. That level is a strong level. Chart 4. So, so far, momentum, you should have been doing momentum long all day today. That's what the system told us. Fades at extremes, those are and you had to get out quick. So fades have been a obviously you should be fading at extremes anyways. So we're writing one lot up. See if we can increase our P&L a little bit there. And I am looking to sell a little bit higher. So, but what's interesting about today, what's really interesting is that everything, so the 4 charts that you see on your screen right here, typically there's a divergence on one of the charts. But the NQ, oil, gold, and the Russell are all momentum long and bias long. Usually there's a divergence on one of these charts. So something is unusual in the market right now. I'm just sharing you from a fundamental level. I don't do fundamentals, but I'm just sharing from a fundamental level based on my trading since 2018, being a successful trader and trading these tickers. Something fundamentally is different in the market right now because these 4 tickers don't generally move in conjunction with each other. I trade these 4 tickers because at different times they have different signals. But we're seeing all 4 tickers align with momentum and bias. That is unusual. So I share that because something in the market's going to probably break here in the next week or two. So something in the market's going to break here because this is not normal behavior. So I'm using that additional clue as, okay, something's going on here. Now we are getting picked up on the GC trade. This is a level check. So really, we got to be a little careful here. Make sure that we're not too aggressive on that trade because it might just rip up. And once again, we're fading. We're fading at a good area, but it might break up here. So I'm not going to give it much room. I'm literally going to just give it a little bit of room. And it's either going to take us out or it's going to take us out right here on this push up here, or it's going to all right. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Ninja Trader Shark. They're right on the market. I am a genius. I agree. No. I have even heard that come 589 rule may come into play as early as Monday. Yeah, I've kind of heard that too. So I've heard some rumors about some things, but I'm just sharing from a fundamental perspective. Yeah, the comics rule 589. So, people, I might do a stream on this, but there is buzz in professional trader. So here's the thing. The other reason why we created a delta is because, like, I haven't even shared this with my nephew yet, but there's a couple of traders that, I mean, when you become a successful trader at a decent level, you're going to have other traders at a decent level typically that will reach out to you. And then you're going to have kind of like this little mentorship group. I I'm not saying every trader does that, but I've experienced it. Okay. So then you get the water cooler things that is happening at another level, right? Um, so I will, before the stream, I will go over the crypto market. I'll go over the crypto market before the stream ends. So I share that because I am hearing there's interesting. Number one, the confirmation that all four of these charts are moving in conjunction, and that's a rare event. I mean, it happens from time to time, so it's not like I'm not like super spooky, but it happens from time to time. Let me make sure. I want to make sure we're getting picked up here properly. So we're in our GC trade on one lot, and we're going to move that stop here. Going to give it a little bit of room, but we are up on that GC trade right around $200 on our NQ trade. We're up, but it's starting to stall at the level. It's probably going to continue to move up. Right now there's no reason to be a seller. So like other than quick scalps, I mean, you see me selling. I'm selling on GC because I'm predicting that GC is going to have a divergence on what the market's doing, because gold typically is not going to follow the NQ the way it has been. But so yeah, I'm hearing some blurbs of things from a level conversations, and I'm also seeing on the four charts here they're correlating, and that usually tells me something weird is in the market, because these don't usually correlate this well.
Stop filled.
So what do we get stopped out of? Oh, we got stopped out of the GC once again, that fade trade. So we made a little bit of money on that fade trade. Just keep starting over. You can't be what's the word I'm looking for? Don't let the market, like I've started over. I have a video on YouTube. I should find that video. We're in the crypto market. I shared that I started over on a trade 8 times or something like that. And that trade worked out to be like 150% or something. But I had to start over on that trade 8 times. So because to me, I got the signal, I kept starting over, but I kept getting knocked out. And I did see the potential of the upside, but also if you've traded crypto, it can just keep going down, just as it can just keep going up. So we are short on the GC again. So I think I'm going to get out of that trade. I just don't like where it's at. Don't like what it's doing to me. All right. So we are on. Whoa, look at that move on GC. Man. Almost have to short that because that's an exhaustion move. I almost have to short that. I mean, I don't have to, obviously, but almost an exhaustion move. Need to start getting involved in that. So we'll see here. That might be an exhaustion move up. That's why I'm shorting the GC. So we're not going to get too aggressive. We'll just do one lot because obviously we're fading. We're guessing at, no, not guessing at that area. It's at an area where it probably should have a reaction. So when I say that, I've shared, I fade a lot. Okay. You guys know this. So if you're a new trader, you're not going to fade. You're going to trade momentum. This is something I had to go to my nephew on too. I had to say, dude, don't fade like me until you become a better trader. Then you can fade like crazy, Yeah, exactly. What you're right, Ninja Trader Shark. I need to don't be gun shy. Part of it too is, like I said, I'm still recovering from my treatment. So like, I'm not going to get super aggro on the charts until like my mind is completely focused. So that's the other thing. I don't know if aggro is the right word. Is that the right word there, Tony?
Yeah.
Do I get aggro on the charts?
Yeah. Passionate.
Yeah, I do get passionate. That's the nice word for it. All right. Let's look at the charts, see where we're at. Probably going to be taken out. GC, we're once again, gonna add one more lot there. See if we can get picked up on one more lot.
Order filled.
Not going to be too aggressive on that trade. We're still long on the NQ, but it's once again, we went through the charts on the underline, on all the underlines. There's no reason to be sellers. Look at BNB. Let's look at the crypto market. All right. So we'll look at the crypto market, but if I get picked up on some trades here, I'll get back to the trades. Let me go through the trades first so that members that are maybe trading will go through the levels. So we're going to start at chart 1. We're going to start at the NQ. The NQ, for it to rise up, it needs to recapture 275. The most important level right now, if you're using chart 3, is 262. So 262 is an important level. If it holds above 262 or 252, so 252 is really, the long trade is right around 250, the long trade on the NQ for a pullback. Now, you have to be mindful, we're going into the 1 o'clock hour. It might do one of those pullbacks where it's a deeper pullback. So here's what to expect on this pullback here on the NQ. If it pulls back deep, it's going to do one of two things here on the NQ. It's either going to rip above that high, rip above that strong level there. So the NQ is either going to rip above 273 and rip above it, and then it's going to find an exhaustion zone and sell off and then probably range out for the day. Or it's going to do a false breakdown and it's going to find a level down below where it's going to test. So this is where you almost look like a genius sometimes when you trade these false breaks down, because basically the chart 4 is your friend on this. So if the market does sell off, chart 4 is telling us that 215 is the level that we probably want to be a buyer. So if the market does sell off, now what we have to also be so that would be a deep sell off. That would be a false breakdown. And then we would look for confirmation right around 218. Chart 4 should be your guiding factor for any false breakdown. Okay. Now let's go to the CL trade. CL charts. Okay. CL, this is oil. We're looking at the second chart. Obviously, the 5-minute is bias and momentum long. We are on bar 54. The 1 hour looks like it could potentially roll over, but the most important level on the actual CL trade right now is 79.66, 79.67. And then really, if you are going to sell CL, I mean, you've got a little bit of room down to 79.01. And then if it does do a deeper sellback, you do have the level down to 78.55. So if it's going to roll over. If we look at the Russell looks like it wants to range out the day at the highs. So, if you know what the Russell's made up of, then obviously you know that who's buying, or I should go through these tickers so that you understand. If you're a new trader, just look up Russell 2000 and you'll see what the underline is made up of. There's a reason why I trade these 4 individual tickers, because like I said, they have different signals at different times and they often diverge against each other. So it provides some good trading. If we go to GC, like I said, we're in an initial sell here, and then we're looking for around that 1857 to sell off. If it does sell off pretty heavy, I'm looking for a sell off down to 1853. So that's what I'm looking for. And then I would look at taking some profit in that zone. That's my Discord, by the way, that's making all that noise. Ninja Trader Shark. Yeah, I do need to get back to the Globex stuff. You're right, Ninja Trader Shark. I do need to get back to that. I do need to get back to Globex levels because they do play it. But well, here's the thing. Okay, we just got knocked out of the NQ trade, so now here's we have to decide: do we sell this? I think we do. I think we sell the NQ, but this is kind of a risky trade here. Okay, so you don't want to sell too aggressively because now we're going into the 1 o'clock hour. We're expecting maybe a momentum. We're expecting a false breakdown, and then we're expecting that buyers are going to buy at some level. So that's what we're expecting here in this trade. But it could just as easily use this momentum check here right around this 5.9 level to rip back up. And then, so we don't want to get too aggressive on ourselves. So we're selling there, obviously here. We do have a little bit of room to 4.9. So, but don't expect 4.9 to break. Once again, this is fades. You're fading the market. So, our GC trade starting to be in profit. Let's see we're only going to get 2 lots on that thing. And like I said, before the end of the stream, we will go over crypto. So I will be looking at crypto. We'll look at Bitcoin. look at the Bitcoin, we'll look at the Ethereum, we'll look at BNB, we'll look at across the market. We'll kind of see what the crypto market's going to tell us for the weekend, possibly. That's what we're fitting to do. So now it's just a matter of this is going to be a false break or not. We'll see. All right, probably should get out of that NQ trade.
Order filled.
Out of the NQ trade. It held up at momentum. So, and then the GC trade probably shouldn't get much room to go against us. So I'm going to put 2 trailing stops up above at 1856, 1857. No other chart really gives us signals right now. So the capital we're going to be putting to work is on the NQ. So we're going to be looking at the NQ pretty hard here. And that strong level here is where we're at. Well, what I was going to say about the Globex on NinjaTrader Shark is so I did used to really, have those levels in mind, but here's the thing. Like, so my trade system, like it already kind of arranges around those levels anyways. That's what's kind of like almost scary sometimes about my trade system is that sometimes like what happens is that like, well, it's designed in such a way where the reactions align with other reaction zones. So I don't have to pay attention to those levels, if that makes sense. And it's not scary. It's just kind of amazing sometimes when it just works out that way. So I think I often say I don't ask why. Let's make sure we're watching the charts. The NQ is going up. We should have been a buyer there. So let's be a buyer just on one position. See if we can get picked up on one position and maybe a pullback here, not get too aggressive. So my system kind of has confluence against other systems. I think I think it, like, I don't try to ask why. Like the RDA just works. And I'm like amazed, like it works. And the second that it stops working, I'll stop using it.
Order filled.
But as long as it keeps working, I'm going to use it. But, and I'll never know the answer why it works so well. I just know that I spend a lot of time, effort, money, capital, blood, sweat, and tears trying to work on getting it to work. So, it definitely is it's not something I just threw together and it just started working. All right. So we're long on NQ briefly for one, and then we're looking for maybe a pullback back to the level down to 6.2 to go long. Not going to give it much room. I think I'll get rid of these shorts up here. So, but we're kind of in that mode right here. We're on the 1 o'clock hour, and it might just kind of range for a little bit before it decides what it wants to do. So you can really churn your account in this kind of environment. So you just want to be a little careful in this environment. Like, number one, trade the extremes, and don't chase trades during this time. So during this time, you don't want to chase any trades. You want to trade the extremes. Oftentimes, the breakouts fail on both sides. So during this time, like it's trading the extremes and calling the bluff almost on the market on both sides. It's kind of where you're at. GC, we are out of profit on that thing. So we're going to just lose we're going to have a small P&L day. That's the question. Here we go. There we go. Probably should put a trailing stop on that CL or on that NQ position. I'm waiting for GC to sell off, gold to sell off. So hopefully that thing will sell off. Anybody have any questions? Anything I can answer? Please send it over. All right, we're long, giving a little bit of room. The CL's working out a little bit, or GC is working out a little bit. Apologize. We are long. Once again, there's no reason to be short. There really is no reason to be short in the market right now, unless you're just doing a quick fade. So that's the only time to be short right now. You've got no confirmation signal that anything's going to sell off right here. So you've got no confirmation signal. So we have no confirmation signal yet. Oh, there we go. Once again, I'll remind it should be called waiting, not trading. Because what are you doing most of the time? You're waiting. You know, you do see, you do like to think that you're an action hero trading, but really what you're doing is you're just sitting around waiting. I'll look at the Zao odd. So I'll take a look at that. Make sure. So there we are. So we're trailing our stop here on the NQ. You can see this here in chart 1. It's going to rip up. We might want to think about shorting it up here. I'd like to see the GC sell off. So we're going to not give the GC much room. Like to see it sell off from there. And then here we go. NQ is up. We're up about 270 on that trade on one lot. We're in GC two trades there. We're looking to ride that down, maybe down to 1853.2 level. But we are. There we go. So, you can see the ruddy. I'm looking at maybe this zone up here, 1937. I mean, I'm just being very. The Russell hasn't been kind to me today. I faded that a little bit wrong. So let's look at the. Let me pull up the chart here and let's look at the XA. You look at it on gold. So we'll look at gold. Look at that. Gold is, I have a gold idea as well, but it's a 10-year idea. So I'll share that as well, just because, I'll just share it as well. So I have it. So gold's doing kind of what I expect against the Australian dollar here. Right? Yeah, I know that. Austrian or Australian? I should know that. I sound dumb sometimes when I don't know what I'm talking about on tickers. So here we go. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame. I mean, it's like everything else. It's momentum and bias long. I mean, really, look at that stair step structure of the 1 hour. Look at that. VWAP, 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 VWAP. I mean, I would be a buyer at this point in time. I'd be a buyer all the way down to 26.92 on this thing. So, like on this chart right here, like I would love to be a buyer down here if it gets down here. So I'd be patient to be a buyer down here for a pullback right around this 26, this zone here. So if it does get down here, I would be a heavy buyer based on this. But you're going to have to be patient probably for a week or two, maybe it's in the next couple days. But that's what I would be on that. Let's look at the charts to make sure we're just focusing on our trades. Well, we are up about $300 on the NQ. The GC is not working in our favor. It's probably going to take us out here. So the GC trade is not working in our favor at all. Once again, that's a fade trade. So we kind of expect, or we don't, I mean, we're fading the market and every chart is heavy momentum long. So now let's see where we might be when we sell here on the NDX. I mean, if it gets up to 307, I think I would sell. If the index gets up to 307, I'll sell. So that would be kind of the sell zone. So really, I would be crazy not to sell around that area here. Not crazy, but based on my trading style, like selling up here around 330 to 320, like I would expect some reaction. But it might just keep going. Maybe the buyers are just so happy to just be able to be buying in this zone that they're just like, hey, yeah, we're rolling. Did that on that Zao on or whatever. Did that help? Mash it, boy. Did that chart analysis help? I mean, what I would look at on that too. So for me, I go to the 4 hour and see what the 4 hour tells us. Let's see what the 4 hour structure. Look at that 4 hour structure, just strong as heck. I mean, it's obvious it's going to two places. It's probably I'd almost buy up to 2,800. I mean, the 4 hours really obvious that it's trying to go to 2,800. I mean, just obvious structure. Look at that. I know there's a lot of stuff to see on here. Once again, this is my Rexdog Maximus chart. It has all of my indicators in multiple time frames. I can look at this chart and filter out what I need to see, but I can just see its strong momentum. So pretty much, like I said, I'd love to be a buyer down here in this 26.89 range. But I would almost be a buyer up here at 27.12 on the 4 hour. So right around 27.08 and 27.12. If it pulls back there, I'd be a buyer because I'd expect a reaction there. So right now, I don't know if I'd sell it because it's not at a zone that I'd see a sell-off. But I'd love to be a buyer right around here as I look at this chart. So hopefully that helps. We are momentum long on every chart. Yes, on every chart. We are momentum and bias long. So really, if you're fading any of these moves, you better be fading the extremes. Extreme, they said in Harold and Kumar. One of my favorite movies, one of my favorite series is Harold and Kumar. It's impossible. If I'm in a bad mood, it's impossible. Well, number one, there's a Christmas special as the third movie. So it's almost impossible for me to watch those two movies back to back and not be depressed after it. So like that and Tommy Boy, like if I watch those three movies, and then if I'm still depressed, then I'll watch Scarface. And then if after that, then I'm definitely going through some things. If I've watched Tommy Boy, the two Harold and Kumar movies, maybe Black Sheep, because that's the next movie with David Spade and what's his name. But then if I add Scarface and I'm still in a funk, then obviously there's something really going on. So for instance, I had major cancer surgery a couple years ago and I was free of cancer. And then it came back. All right. So I got the announcement, or, it came back. It's 4 areas of my body. It's incurable, whatever. So I got that. So that day, I kind of went home. I didn't tell any family or anything yet because I just wanted to process it. But what I did is I watched Harold and Kumar 1 and 2. I watched Tommy Boy, and then I watched Scarface. And then I was okay to then go and share with the family that, hey, my cancer came back. This sucks. I'm on treatment. Here's what I'm doing. Here's the plan. So like it's a medicine pill that I've used. Those movies. I don't know. I'm just trying to fill time here because obviously trading is waiting. I will look at other charts. So if you have questions, I cannot talk about obviously my life and talk about charts. So I'm all for that. If there is other charts people want me to look at, we will. Right now, really, we're up about $500 on one NQ trade. Probably could have added to that. We're waiting for the GC trade to either work out or take us out at a loss, a couple $100, maybe $200 on that thing. But we're giving it plenty of room to kind of move around. You can see here. So, and then we're looking to maybe sell heavy when we see an exhaustion move on the move up. People ask, do I use volume? I only use volume in two places. Exhaustive volume on the way up and then stopping volume on the way down. Members, there's a couple videos on stopping volume and exhaustive volume in the membership site. So that's the only time I use volume. You see, I don't have volume on many of my charts. The only time I would say use volume is that. The other reason is that we use the VWAP in our system. The VWAP includes volume. So we don't need to do a volume analysis because we use the VWAP in our system. So you don't need to do volume analysis because the VWAP includes the volume that you would be doing analysis on. So you can ignore volume. Obviously, that's my philosophy. If you adopt my system, you say, no, dude, you're crazy. Don't ignore volume. Then do it. So for instance, we got a trader that's doing these box type of trades where basically they find these boxes areas and they're trading around that. Awesome. Sweet. Like I said, whatever makes you an effective trader, I'm all for it. All right. Let's look at the crypto market, since I did say I will do this before the stream is up. So let's look at the crypto market. So let's start at BNB. We are on Rexdog Maximus. I know this is a busy chart, but what you're seeing on this chart, just so you know, every one of these lines, the weekly, the W or the 240, these are the Rexdog system reaction areas. So this is I call it the Rexdog Maximus because it has multi-time frame indicators that we use in our system. So I can use the 4-hour chart, for instance, and I can see, I mean, obviously, number one, I could probably remove this because the 240 shouldn't be here. But because we're looking at, I can use the 1-hour chart, for instance, and see every multi-time frame reaction zone that our system pulls up. I know it's a busy chart. I know it's hard to see, but what I'm looking for is I'm looking for longer term trend analysis here. So what is obvious here? Well, until BNB closes above 301, you should short every pop. So it's like this whole zone here, basically you should short all the way up to 299. So on BNB, if BNB gets up to 299, I'd be shorting it, or a little bit above it, because really it's in a momentum bias, or it's bias and momentum short. The chart on multiple time frames. So you're selling every pop on BNB. Ape is probably the same. Let's look at Ape USDT. Ape's the same way. Ape's a little bit different. Ape, you'd get it maybe up to 5401 if it gets up there, because it does have a bottom level here. So, but in some ways, I'd be selling Ape like crazy right around 5.11, just because the chart tells me to sell it like crazy there. If it gets up there, you're going to have to be patient. But if it gets up there, I'll sell it like crazy up there if I'm around and trading. Let's look at waves. Waves, the same situation. Like, see, it doesn't matter what crypto you trade, what all crypto you trade. They're all in the same pattern. Same pattern. Doesn't matter. I don't see one that doesn't have the same pattern. So literally, it doesn't matter where you deploy your capital in crypto. You should be looking at the individual charts. But right now, all chart in crypto tells you that the sell-off is on. Let's look at Bitcoin. So we'll look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, the same situation. Until it takes out this big alpha candle here, we're in sell zone. And, I was arguing with the membership. I'm not arguing with the membership. I was going off the 4-day and saying that I saw it actually breaking the RDA. It didn't. Once again, the yellow line there that you see there is the RDA. Look at how beautiful it just, I mean, yeah, I did an overshoot, but look, it never closed above it. Like, that's why I say if you want to trade crypto, trade the 4-day chart. The 4-day chart is a secret. I've been saying this for years. So I use Tradovate. And then I have a couple other brokers that I use. I'll be moving to the other chart. And then I use KuCoin for crypto because I'm in the US. Yeah. So the charts that you see here, up here, this is Tradovate. I think it's one of the best for a new trader. If you're going to trade futures, I think it has the most easiest platform to go in and get into trading. Because it's just simple. You don't have to mess around with a bunch of these indicators. I mean, it's just simple. Once you get acclimated to the system, it's simple. It's not difficult to trade with. Like NinjaTrader, I hate MT4 with a passion. So I'd never use MT4. But NinjaTrader is okay. But, all of these platforms have a learning curve. I find Tradovate for a new trader has the lowest learning curve. I'd be interested to hear what members have to say too. Like, does Tradovate have a smaller learning curve? Okay. Well, we're still long. We might be taken out. The CL trade starting to work in our favor. Oh, sorry, GC trade. I keep saying CL. The gold trade. We're still long on the NQ. Volatility has stopped. One thing that, when you get a day like today, here's the thing. The sell-off might not happen today. It might happen on Monday, or it might happen Sunday when the market reopens. So, like I remember distinctly a couple times when I was just Well, like there'd be bad news on Friday and the market would just keep moving up. And I'd be like thinking to myself, don't people see this bad news? Like the jobs report was terrible. Why the hell are they buying? And I would be trading my logic and not the chart. And I'd be saying, well, it's gonna sell off here. It's gonna sell off here. Well, what happens sometimes on Fridays like this is it'll just range out at an upper range and it won't do the major sell off. And then Monday or Tuesday, it'll do the major sell off. But if you're caught, like I don't listen to news, so I don't even know what the narrative is out there. But if you're caught in that news cycle, like you're watching, I used to have Bloomberg on. And if you get caught up in the Bloomberg of the risk off and risk on talk, I can almost guarantee on Bloomberg, they're saying it's a risk on environment. They just use that stupid term risk on and risk off. Like you can get caught up in that thinking and not trade the charts. So we straight up trade the charts. I don't get caught up in the thinking of the narrative of risk on or risk off. This GC trade is just like it's just toying with us. It's trying to sell off, but it's not. I'm waiting for some move in some, like right now, the charts are just low volatility. I'm waiting for some move to show us what it wants to do. We're about to hit the 1330 hours, so that means we've got about 90 minutes left in the market with the cash market open. So we're just kind of waiting to see, can we get heavy on a short? Otherwise, you should just be long. I mean, there's really, all charts are long. Obviously, I'm shorted in the GC, but I'm giving that trade. I'm either going to be taken out here really quickly here for about a loss of about $200, or it's going to sell off here and sell off down to this lower level. Does not look like it's going to sell off. It looks like it wants to take me out, then sell off. That's what it looks like it wants to do. Other than that, what are we looking for? The Russell, we're looking for a sell a little bit higher. I mean, everything looks looks like it has potential to roll over, but we have no counter signal that the rollover has happened. So you shouldn't be trading any rollover yet because we have no counter signal. Let's look into the crypto market a little bit more. Really, like I said, it doesn't matter what you trade in the crypto market. The patterns are the same. That's when I say that basically you're going to find some divergences. So obviously if we go and we look at KuCoin and we say, okay, is there something that's really selling off? Like AGIX. AGIX is really selling off. Okay. But the chart pattern is the same chart pattern as the other chart patterns that exist out there. So really, if you're trading alt cryptos, just pick 10 that you watch, and you're going to notice that 9 times out of 10, they're in the same pattern. So, and then you're going to find one that's going to diverge. And of course, there's these, every now and then things are starting to move or starting to pump. So then you can trade those things that are starting to move. And then all you have to do is just go to KuCoin or go to even here. So I have a list here on crypto. All you have to do is like, here's my crypto top, is just sort on change and then look at BAT and see if there's an opportunity on the BAT trade. Go to the extreme on there's no extreme on that side, but basically BAT is at an extreme. So you have your watch list and then just see if there's opportunities to fade that move or to go with the momentum. That's really all you have to do. Just create a watch list, sort it by extremes, and then look at the extremes. And right now it's telling us the best trade on BAT right now is shorting right here. Shorting right around 279.28. That's the best trade. You might have another opportunity to short BAT right around here at 272.99. But you're fighting. That would be a momentum check. You do have the VWAP here. If it recaptures the VWAP, I would be selling right around 272. So maybe I'll look at doing that on KuCoin. So we'll put in a sell right around KuCoin right around 272.75. If it gets up there, it might just sell off from here. It's got to recapture the VWAP, obviously. but 2725. Yeah. 2725. 2725. We'll do 1,000 units of BAT. Sell short. There we go. There we got our entry in for crypto. What do you consider to be a counter signal to let you know it's time to switch positions? Well, I mean, that's the 4 chart layout. So I'll answer your question, Nathan. So I'll answer it. A counter signal is, you have the 4 chart layout, and then like there's early counter signals, and then there's confirmation signals. So an early counter signal is the first. So the market is moving. Let me go to the NDX. Let me explain this here so that I'm explaining this very clearly. So let's go to the daily, and then let's go to the NDX. So obviously the market is moving. Okay, let's use this example right here. Right here. Okay. And I'm watching my trade, so I'm going to get knocked out of the NQ here. So the market is moving in one direction here. Okay. And then it's green candle, green candle, green candle, green candle. This first red candle is your first counter signal. That's your first counter signal. So then you have something to trade against. It's your first counter signal. The market, you have to wait for the close of this candle to see where it closes to get your first counter signal. But this here on the 1 hour time frame, so we just got knocked out of GC. That's some loss. This is the first counter signal. So if you were shorting up here and you don't have a counter signal, you're just guessing. You're just guessing that this level is going to sell off. Now it is an RDA check. Notice that right there, you see that yellow line? That's the RDA. I'm not guessing when I'm selling there because the system tells us there's going to be a reaction at the RDA. So we're selling there. We're not guessing, but we might be guessing because we're maybe on the 4 charts. We're not guessing. We might be on a lower time frame looking at that same area, and it didn't highlight that same area. We might be on a lower time frame looking at the same area, seeing whether or not it rolls over on the 5-minute chart, for instance. So what we're looking at there, I'm trying to mark the spot. So let's look at our trades and make sure that we're focusing on our trades. Did get knocked out of GC. We're still in NQ. There's nothing to do except for wait for a higher zone to sell off of. That's where we're at. So there's no signals on anything. I mean, GC, look at that. Am I going to sell GC again and just do the same stupid thing? I think I'm going to do it.
Order filled. Order filled.
So the GC chart is very extended from where I sit here. So I'm expecting for a deeper GC pullback. I want to see gold pull back first, but I could be completely wrong here. It might be going up to 1859. So here, when you're on a lower time frame here, if I can find that area in the chart, where's it at? There it is. So on the lower time frame, look what the lower time frame did. This is like, and then when you have the 4 chart, you have the superpower because look at the lower time frame. The lower time frame rolled over right here. So the 1 hour, that 1 hour didn't close. It closed probably right around, it closed right here. But the 5-minute gave you an early signal that it rolled over. And then it gave up the RDA. And look what happened when it gave up the RDA. It just continued to go down. And it continued to check momentum and continued to go down. But you don't trade that until you get your first counter signal. So this is the confirmation right here. This is the confirmation. Oftentimes you'll see me enter here because I expect a reaction. I'm entering early, and then I go heavy when I get a confirmation. That's just using 2 time frames. When you include the 4 chart setup, you kind of have a superpower in your trading. I mean, this is just using the 1 hour and 5-minute and using the system. Right there, we got the confirmation right here, this red candle here. And then you got the additional confirmation when it actually closed beyond this level, and then it took out the RDA, rechecked the RDA. If you weren't shorting that, I don't know what you're trading. You're not trading the chart. You're not trading what the chart's telling you. If you didn't short that. If you faded that, that's a terrible fade. So number one, it was very clear once you got that first signal on the 1 hour. I don't know if that helps explain it. Holy crap! Look at that rise up. Jeez. Wow. GC's really ripping up.
Order filled. Order filled.
Wow. Did that help, Nathan? Yeah, I'm with you on the 1858. That's kind of why I was willing to scale up to. But I'm obviously starting that early. I'm being aggressive on that short. Don't short like I do on the GC.
Order filled.
Let's see if we do. Yeah. All right.
Order filled.
Thanks, Nathan. Just waiting. GC trade is still kind of like at the zone. I don't want to scale in a little bit heavier in case it does rip up a little bit higher and really has an exhaustive move. I haven't seen the exhaustive. That might be the exhaustive candle there. So
Order filled.
this is advanced scalping here. So don't be scalping the GC like I am unless you kind of like have enough powder. I have enough powder to trade myself out of that GC trade. So I have plenty of powder. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I mean, I started early there. I should be starting around 1863. You're right there, Ninja Trader Shark. You're right. I should be patient to that zone. That is the extreme. But I might be able to. I might be able. The market might give me an opportunity to get out here at break even. Still not good trading. Because once again, I don't have the counter signal yet. You know, so just so people know, like I fade, but I've been, well, I was talking to my nephew that he just said it was crazy watching me fade because like there is an art to fading. There is an art to fading good. But he just was amazed at kind of the art that I was employing when I fade. Because it can look like magic if you do it right. It can look like a complete mess if you do it wrong. But if you do it right, it can look like magic. But that's a lot of chart time. Fading is, like I said, new traders, you focus on momentum trades. If you would have, so today is a prime example. Today was momentum and bias long. You had no reason to fade the market at all today. So if you're a new trader and you were just trading straight up momentum and bias, I mean, look at this here. Look at this chart here. It's so obvious. Look at that. Every momentum check held. Look at this here chart on CL. Every momentum check held. Look at the Russell. Every momentum check held. Now, GC, we're pretty far. The reason why I am shorting this because we're pretty far extended. So, like, generally there will be a reaction here somewhere. But I'm still doing, I haven't got the counter signal yet. So, like, I'm still doing trading that, like, I haven't got the counter signal yet. So, like, I need to get a counter signal before I go really heavy on GC. Did get knocked out of the actual NQ trade. Now we are at the 1330 hour, so you might expect a deeper pullback here. So what does chart 4 tell us? Well, chart 4 tells us there's a interesting level right around 270 in the NQ, but where we'd probably really want to be a buyer is right around 37. Like that 37 level, if it does sell off down to there, like that's kind of like where we would expect a false break, the 237. I know it's a pretty big range, but if it's going to sell off pretty hard, it might just surprise the market and scare the heck out of buyers. It might just range out here too. So once again, don't trade on that because we don't have any confirmation yet. Yeah. Yeah, that's, so just so you like, to be a good fader, a fade trader, you've got to be able to always trade yourself out of a trade. So you always, and to fade trade, oftentimes your first entry is you expect a reaction there, but you don't know. So scaling in effectively as a fade trader is critical. The biggest mistakes that people make when they fade is that they scale in too close to where their position is. So I can scale in, like the next area I'm looking to scale in is around 1860, and I might double that up to 21, if it gets up there. But that's me trading myself out of the trade and knowing, like I said, I might have to cut that trade if it's continuing to go up like that one day on Thursday. So, fade trading definitely is it's more difficult. It's an art that a skill. I mean, there's more art involved, I would say, in fade trading. Do we want to sell the NQ? I think we do one lot. Let's do one lot. See if we can catch it down. We'll do 2 lots.
Order filled.
So we'll give the NQ an opportunity to sell off here. We do have a level, so we do have a little confirmation. So I did do one lot. We do have a bias check here at 290. So I would watch for that bias check. I'm going to give it a little bit of room here.
Order filled.
It might just come up here, right here, and just take me out. So once again, this is an early fade. Don't want to be too sized too well or too high, just because, once again, it might use this level. But we might have caught the rollover here in the afternoon. But I wouldn't expect it because, once again, we're in a heavy momentum environment. That fade trade is actually kind of a bad zone for the fade. So I'm going to add one more position here, like right here. And then I'm either going to be taken out at a loss or it's going to sell off right there. So I'm just doing quick scalping on the NQ, expecting it to roll over. It might not roll over. So I'm risking probably about $300 to $400 to make maybe 8 to 9, if not more. Not quite that much, but that's kind of what I'm risking. See, the other thing to fade, you need to be able to do those calculations in your head. You need to say, okay, how much room exists in this fade trade? And then what am I risking comparatively what I could potentially make based on probabilities? Look at that. Oh, man. That gold is just holding. I think it's going to hold up into the close. I might have to get out of that. Might have to get out of that gold trade. Might not get an opportunity to even get at a break even on that thing. It's really being stubborn with me. So let's see. Now I'm in 2 positions. I would like to be 3 for the, but once again, we're fade trading on the NQ. Do not, I mean, it might just rip down here, but don't expect it. It's got to take out 289 first. Takes out 289 and it closes below 289, then it's probably going to go to 275. So that's what I'd look for on the NQ. So, yes, exactly. Nothing's committing to the sell-offs. I'll probably be firing up Sierra chart this weekend for the first time. I haven't fired it up yet, but I will be firing up Sierra chart. I'm excited to kind of get into that platform and to get into the learning curve with it. Sorry for my Discord making noises. I will try to mute it in the future. All right. So now we call the bluff on this next move up, and then ideally we don't get taken out on our trailing stops on the NQ because it looks like it might roll over here. But we got to give it enough room to kind of roll over because we're fighting momentum. And then GC is, I almost should just get out of that trade there, but let's give it a little bit of room because it is starting to stall. Ah, look at that. Fighting momentum. Low as can go, still be long here. Yeah, it should still be long here. I agree. It's almost I should reverse there.
Order filled.
So I reversed on the NQ. Gonna see if it's gonna rip up. I reversed there on the NQ. It held momentum. So we're gonna see if we can ride that up to the next level up. Did reverse long. Ah, GC is just punishing me, man. You don't want to sell off. I can feel it. I feel it. NQ might just sell off right here too. So that might be just a bad reversal area. So I might get knocked out of that for a little bit of a loss here because it needs to hold this level here. It really needs, there we go. Need to get above 300. It gets above 300, it's going to rip up. Then if it gets above 304, it's going to rip up more. It's a pretty obvious trade there. Once again, trading momentum. Should have been trading momentum. Shouldn't have been fading. Prime example is, yeah. So we'll see too. I mean, I don't want to use too much of my powder right here. I'll go heavy if it does get up to 1860, because I would be very surprised if it continues to impulse up above 1860, based on my reaction zones. But hey, been wrong before. I'm with you, Ninja Trader Shark. Trading deep into the close here on Friday. That's where the real traders are. Real traders trade up to till 4 p.m. on Friday. They don't go home to Nantucket or wherever the hell they go in the East Coast. I don't know where they go. They don't go to their lake home. They trade till the market closes. They trade till settlement on Friday. Real traders trade till settlement on Friday. They close out at just 1 minute before settlement. That's what a real trader does. That trades futures. Oh, I'm going to get knocked out of this NQ trade, aren't I?
Stop fill.
Damn it, Jim.
I'm trying to learn how to build
Crackhead?
the Bravo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I'd be open. I can show you how to do that too, so that like if you want me to show you how.
Yeah, I was trying to do this while
Order filled.
trading.
Did add a little bit to the GC trade.
I'm also looking at computer hacks right now.
Yeah. Well, I might get out of the GC trade if I just get to break even, just because, or I mean, maybe I'll just give it a little bit of room to kind of move. But I'm not gonna, almost. Okay, here's the thing. Let me get out of tunnel vision. Let's look at GC. Let me make an assessment of GC if I stay in this trade longer, or if I get out at break even, if it gives me that opportunity. Let's start at the daily. All right, the daily oh man, at the 1860 is the momentum check. So 1860 is that really zone. Like it's almost, if I get an opportunity to get here at break even, I just get out and then wait for the 1860 check. That's what the market's telling me. So really my best short opportunity is 1862. So if the market gives me an opportunity here to get at break even, or I should almost just get out here right around 130. There we go. We're going to get an opportunity here to get out at break even. So we should take this. I mean, technically I'm in the trade. I could maybe stick with it a little bit, So what I will do is I will do 2 5 trailing stops, and I'm going to give it a little bit of an opportunity to move here, but I just don't want it to go too much against me. So I'm going to give it a little opportunity to move here. But getting out of tunnel vision a bit, looking at the larger time frame, GC trade tells me right around 1860 is the zone I should be a seller. I sold a little bit early here. So now I either get out of this trade here at a little bit of loss, or I stay in it and scale in at 1860. I should have got out down there instead of being patient.
Stop fill.
All right, got knocked out of one, hurting my P&L. So I'll give it an opportunity here on this 5 to sell off. I'm not giving it much room. It either sells off or not. So the right spot would have been, I should have looked at the higher time frame. Yep. Yeah, the Feds do speak soon. So that's one thing to watch. We might have some volatility pick up in the market, so you should tighten up your stops. I should probably also get out of all of this. Here, cancel offers. So I'm going to give the opportunity for this to sell off, but once again, ding my P&L by being an idiot with that trade. Just doing bad fades. Just doing bad fades. Should stop fading the market. Once again, falling back into my old habits. I'm out of that trade.
Order filled.
Falling back to my old habits, fading the market like an idiot. All right. Need to not do that anymore. See if we can end the day at least around $5,000. See an opportunity for that. Maybe a little bit higher. But I'm not going to be forcing trades. The NQ looks like it would sell off here. This would be a good sell-off point for the NQ. But I also have a range right around 312. So that's almost kind of like the 315 level. I'll probably start selling the NQ up there. Ah, look at that. GC move is just keeping up. It's just keep going. It's keep going. Yeah. So I'd be careful with any entries you have in the market now because there is Fed speakers coming up. So the word of demigods are going to be speaking. The word of the financial demigods will be speaking here shortly. They're going to tell you how they're going to destroy the market, increase inflation, and make your life worse is basically what they're going to be doing. I don't have high confidence in the Fed, for those that know. Not that I'm smarter than anybody in the Fed. I just don't have any high confidence of anybody that's in the Fed. Anybody have high confidence in the Fed? We don't have a counter signal yet, but at the same time, you might have to take a little bit of a risk here if you want to have a decent trade. But once again, we're about to hit the 2 o'clock hour. So like I'm going to wait for one counter signal on the short side before I go short. I've already been fading terribly on GC and in the Russell. So my P&L would have been around $4,000, $5,000 if I wouldn't have done. I did two. I faded twice, 3 trades that I shouldn't have faded on. So I'm falling back into my stupid fade habits. So I need to just adjust there mentally and stop fading.
Super fader man.
I am super fader man, and it, you know, it's frustrating because number one, I'm not trading at size. So like, cause my mind isn't fully there cause I'm still recovering. But then these fades, if you're churning your account. So basically I've been trading all day and my P&L should be around $4,000 to $5,000. But because I've done 2 or 3 bad trades, I'm only at 2. So it's like, there's something like as a trader, I'm talking to my nephew here, just so you guys know. Like as a trader, you gotta be able to not, like I've been in tunnel vision a little bit today. You got to be able to constantly get yourself out of tunnel vision. So that you're not in tunnel vision and you're not making bad decisions and you're not churning your account. Because then you basically were trading for a day and you should have just stopped. Yeah,
instead
of just trading, because what's the point of, like, if you were up $4,000 and then you end the day on $2,000, but you spent 3 hours trading, well, you're not trading effectively. So if that consistently happens time and time again, you need to address that and not ignore it. Yeah, I'm with you on the gold trade. I'm a little skittish. But, on gold, like I said, the level that if we look at Rex Dog Maximus, I need to just have that said. Obviously, 1864 is kind of the key level. So you'd almost be crazy not to sell around 1864 if I could use that parlance. So maybe if it does get up to 1864, let's see if we can get picked up for one position. Maybe the Feds might talk. But that's like we would expect a reaction there in that 1864. I'm in no trades right now because, number one, we're pretty far extended on the long side. And then there is no counter signal on the short side. Once again, it might just range out. Plus, we're going into the 2 o'clock hour. So, the 2 o'clock hour here might get pretty volatile here. Let's look and see what news events we have. So we do have, like you said, like someone mentioned, we do have the Fed speakers. So thanks, Nathan, for thank you for reminding me. We do have the Fed speakers speaking. Once again, those that have just joined, down below you'll see Discord. You can join Discord. This is kind of where we have our most conversations. I share most insights. Share any trade setups I'm looking at. Like I said before, I don't overtly say, hey, take this trade. This is an awesome trade. I share charts, and then I assume that you're either adopting my system or you trade a system and you can look at the chart yourself and you can make that assessment of, like, yeah, I should be trading this. I don't overtly ever say super trade on APE USDT. I'm here to teach you to fish, not here to, be like to give you trade signals. We might do trade signals sometime if we get them worked out, but it's not anytime soon. Almost should fade this move here. So I'm going to do an initial entry here on the NQ. And then we do have our first counter signal there. So we do have an initial early signal on the NQ, but might just hold momentum here. So once again, like, it might just hold momentum and just range out the rest of the day. And then I'm going to put a protective stop up here on just 2. I'm not going to get too heavy because we are fading that move. So there we go. Might just get picked up on one lot. Coffee is helping, but my mind is still a little. Hey, can you go to that conversation here?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, and just read it. That way when we talk, you are up to speed. Okay. Yeah. Do have a new member today, so congratulations on getting started. I won't announce you here publicly, but I did announce you in the den. So everybody say hi to the new trader that just joined the membership. And then Brian Trades, you're doing awesome with what you're sharing. So, I'm really appreciate the DMs you're sending. So thank you. That's what I like to see from someone going through the training. So, doing a great job. Tony.
Huh?
No, he's asking what your name was. So I'm saying your name is Tony. Yeah. Do we short gold here? Do I continue to fade gold like a madman? Now I am short on one lot. I'd like to be heavier here on the NQ, but once again, this fade trade, we kind of have the counter signal, kind of, but it's at a momentum check. So it might just use this momentum check on the 5 here just to hold up and continue to go up. Then I'll be like, well, I should have been a buyer. So we're not going to give it much room here. There we go. we're probably going to get knocked out of this trade. I will not be surprised if we don't. I will be surprised if we actually are able to make money on this trade here, but it might just be rolling over here. We are hitting the 2 o'clock hour, 1400 last hour trading. So everybody, if you are trading deep into the Friday session, expect some volatility here in the next hour. I would expect. Look at that. We're going to get knocked out. No, we're not. Yeah, we are. Need to check in with
Stop filled.
did get knocked out.
Order filled.
I'm going to do one more fade here on this NQ trade because we do have levels that we can trade against here. So I am trading against the level. We do have the 307 level. So we do have, so I'm not just trading willy-nilly up on it. We do have the 307 levels. So it might just rip up though and take me out. So I'm not getting too aggressive on those trades yet. But like, I am trading against the 307 level. Just so everybody knows. On the NQ, I'm trading against the 307. But once again, I'm fading momentum. So should have maybe just been a buyer. Probably should have just been a buyer there. Yeah, that's so obvious. Such a dumbass. Why am I fighting my system? I'm such an idiot.
Order filled.
Prime example of me fighting the system like an idiot. Yeah, I'm falling back into my old habit of fading. All right, that needs to stop. I'm stopping that right now. I should have been a buyer there. That was so obvious. You develop a system, then you trade against it. That's kind of dumb. That's what I've been doing part of the day today. So, but we are kind of at an extreme. So I do expect some kind of volatility here. We will give it a little bit of room here on the NQ to continue to push up. But like, we're not going to give it a lot of room. Because I did enter that trade a little bit late. There we go. Can we ride that up? There we go. Should have been a buyer. And I am a buyer now. I am long. But I should have been a buyer down below.
Stop filled.
That trade would have been in much more profit. You know. Being a dumbass trader. Sorry for the swearing. Just a little upset with myself about not trading momentum there. So now I'm short because I do see that volatility move there. I do see a potential sell-off, but I'm not going to give it much room. We're only short one lot. And then we might get picked up above. But I don't want to get picked up yet because we're right around the 2 o'clock hour.
Stop filled.
There we go. Right around the 2 o'clock hour. Might be seeing some volatility pick up here because it is the last hour of trading. Should have been long there. Should have probably went long there. But it's kind of like you're a little dangerous to go long here. You're well extended from the indicators. You're well extended, so you do expect a snapback. Remember, those indicators work as magnets. What do you mean about the 420 level? Well, the 420 level, I mean, everybody knows about 420. Look at that. Look at this. These charts are really they're just momentum long. You know what's weird though is Bitcoin behaving the same way? It's not really. So what's strange is there is a divergence in the force on Bitcoin. And then the all other three markets are moving in conjunction with each other. Like these four typically non-correlated markets are all moving in conjunction with each other. So that is interesting. I'm just looking for an opportunity to short here and maybe make another couple grand. Other than that, I don't want to go long. So I'm looking for the right opportunity to short one of these charts. But we're running out of market time. So I might be looking for a trade that doesn't exist. So I'm looking to fade, even though, like I said, my fade habit is coming back and biting me today. So, once again, I'm falling back into my fade habit of being a super fader man, and I need to not do that. So just be patient. So you're watching, it's probably boring because basically I'm waiting for that right area to strike. I'm basically being a sniper with what I'm trying to do here, meaning that when I strike, I want to strike hard. So I don't see anything that tells me to strike hard yet. So I might not even have a trade here. So, but, I've got 21 lots ready to go for when I want to strike hard. I might get heavy here. Maybe I need some music. I need some jams, man. New Music Friday. There's been no new music. There we go. So what do we do with this GC trade? Do we short it? Did we short it here? Or are we at our zone yet? We are at our zone. I think we have to start shorting here. I think we have to start shorting here. Scaling it a little bit. All right, let's short you. Short you, son. You're getting short. We're in Oompa Loompa land. GC's in Oompa Loompa land. I've kind of made the mistake over and over today on GC. Let's see if we really are in Oompa Loompa land. So let's not get too aggressive there. 1862 is our next scale in there. But it's at the reaction zone. So it's either going to range out here and I have to get out at a loss, or it's going to sell off there. And this trade here should net at least $2,000 if it works out. So that's what I'm looking for $2,000 on this at GC trade if it works out. Who's Masigo? Never heard this dude. I kind of like this song. I found one song from New Music Friday I like. Young Nerdy, 21 Savage. All right, there we go. We're on 2 on GC. Do we want to go aggressive? No, not yet. But we can trade against that high. So let's put in one more lot on that high. Boom, boom. Just a tick below that high on GC. Oh, sorry, I'm not showing you the right chart. There we are. Chart 4 is what you're watching for my GC trade. The NQ, we're not quite on sell-off zone yet, but we're getting there. Like maybe give it a little bit up to 1230. Should have been a buyer up to this zone, but I was not. Triple X. I never heard of Young Nerdy. I don't know what are these rappers and having the Young name. I don't know why they insist on being called Young. I thought that trend would end a long time ago, but obviously not. All right, 206. We're looking at maybe the next 15 minutes for some vol. I want to see an exhaustive move up. Trading deep into the close here. GC, you're punishing me again, man. Tick on that high. Tick on the high. I can just see Monday's just going to rip down. If it doesn't rip down today, Monday or Tuesday, it's going to rip down. I mean, maybe not, but like these charts, they're like pretty well extended. So we're kind of looking to maybe there's going to be some profit taking here in the afternoon. So are there going to be some profit taking in some of these charts here in the afternoon? Or are people happy to hold over the weekend? So GC is trying to sell off. Oh, my head is kind of waterlogged. Oh, not quite 100% yet. Look at that. Running out of market time for the sell-off to happen. So what you might see here is you're looking for maybe an impulse up, and then you're going to look for a large expansive candle, and you're going to want to see on chart 2, you want to see an expansive candle, and then if you want to sell it, you want to see an immediate response on chart 2, meaning that there's an exhaustive candle, it's a longer range, and then you want to see an immediate takeout of those levels of that candle on chart 2. So if you want to sell this and kind of hit the maximum point, you've got to wait for that exhaustive candle and then the answer. And that's the only time that you would sell this here. Otherwise, you don't have any counter signal. So you have to wait for that exhaust. You have to wait for the green candle because obviously we're long. And then you have to wait for the immediate, either there needs to be an answer that takes out that green candle right away or within the next 3 candles. And you want to use chart 2 for that. Chart 2 is the one that you want to use for that. So you're looking for an expansive candle on one side. Now if it expands down and it takes out the momentum and bias indicator, then you have something to trade against as well. So at this point in time, we don't have anything to trade against. Yeah, it's interesting, Blitz. Yeah, sometimes recognize that when you're good, the type of days that you're trading, and then just trading those days is really key. So for instance, some people don't like to short. Some people just don't like to short the market. So then you only trade days where it's momentum long and bias long. So there's nothing wrong. At the end of the day, what matters is, do you have a positive P&L and did it not stress you out too much to have that positive P&L? That's really kind of the way to look at it. Like if you can't duplicate a positive P&L without driving yourself crazy, then you're not effectively trading, because it can't be hectic every single day you trade. It can't be like like an emotional roller coaster every day you trade. If it's an emotional roller coaster every day you trade, then you can't duplicate that because you're going to burn out. All right. We are short. Nah, GC is not selling off. NQ is starting to sell off. Maybe we do have a first kind of counter signal possibly, but once again, every momentum check today has been holding. So are we going to say that this is the one momentum check that's not going to hold? That's the question. We do have, but so is this the false break? So we do have maybe some profit taking happening here in the NQ chart. That would have been a great rollover time to trade. So this is the only trade on the table for the short side, is a momentum check here. It's doing a bias check right now in chart 2. So not starting your position here, but waiting for a pullback, then calling a bluff that actually is going to come back up and take out the high. Might not get there, but that's what you're trading. Now it might just rip up too. That's the other problem. So now here it's just, you either miss the trade here or you get picked up on the pullback. Because right now it's at a momentum check in the 5. So you're not going to you don't want to short right at a momentum check. Wait for the pullback. Yes. Knowing your strength for my Discord. If you have Discord moving, you're probably like, what Where's my Discord? Is it moving? Or is there a new message for me? Oh, look at that. We did get filled on one position there on the NQ once again. We're waiting for the pullback, and then if it doesn't fail, I mean, really the last point of failure is right around 18. So this is the first point of failure. Not going to get too heavy because once again, don't expect the momentum check to fail. It's been holding all day. So why would it fail now all of a sudden? I mean, it might. We might have picked the perfect spot where it just failed, but you shouldn't expect it to.
Order filled.
Ooh, getting picked up on the GC trade. Might be ending the day on a worse P&L than I want to here.
Order filled.
So we'll see. We'll see if that GC trade, we're running out of market time. So I'm either going to have to get out or just, not trade as aggressively on the fade side as I am. But we're running out of market time here. So that looks like that's going to hold up. That NQ trade looks like it's going to hold up. Looks like momentum's going to hold. So I'm going to get out.
Order filled.
Got out of the NQ trade even though it was one lot. Can you check with them, see if we can talk after the stream?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, like not now, but talk later?
Well, yeah, like in maybe 20, 30 minutes when the stream's over.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like stop talking to him right now.
Oh, no. I meant like just see if he's available to maybe do a voice or something. Or I just want to see. Well, we'll talk and then we'll see if he's available to talk. Yay, yay. All right. Let's see if GC is going to sell off. What do you think, Ninja Trader Shark? You think it's going to sell off there? You're expecting the same thing? I'm expecting the same sell-off zone too. I'm with you, man. GC sell-off here. I'm waiting for one of these charts to diverge because right now none of these charts are diverging from each other. So I'm waiting for one of them to diverge. And then I would go heavy, but none of them are diverging. The NQ does look like it's going to try to roll over, but once again, we're right at a momentum check. So we should have sold that high. You can't take what the market gives you. Also, know your mindset. I'm not trading heavy because, like I said, my mind's a little clouded. So I see the trade here for the short, but I really don't want to be on the wrong side of this. I've been in this scenario too many times on Fridays, trading deep into Fridays, where it just ranges out, and I'm trying to trade a trade that doesn't exist. So you have to be careful that you're not trading a trade that doesn't exist. Almost if we get, that would be the first test of the slow momentum. So we'd almost want to go long around 288. That's probably our next trade. It's probably long around 288. So I would say that that's probably our next trade. Like the way the market's rolling over here, there's a potential that it will roll over. So we'll sell up to here, but then we'll get out real quick if it's not going to roll over. And then we're looking for a rollover about to 285 on the NQ. Can we see a rollover there? Now we're in GC starting to get into some profit. Let's see if it actually will use the momentum checks. And like, is this the sell-off point? I should remove all of the buys. So, all right, we might be with the sell-off point here, Ninja Trader Shark. We might have caught that top. I think we need to give it a little bit more room, but we do have momentum check at 1860.09 and 1859.3. Spot 3. I'll talk like a real trader. 1859 spot 3. All right, there we go. Did not get picked up on. Oh, we are on one NQ trade. We are short. Give it a little bit of room there. So should we take some off on the GC trade? Now let's give it a little bit more room. Let's see if it's going to hit that zone right around 1859 spot 0. I don't use a lot of trader parlance, just so you know. Like if you're on a trading floor, you hear people saying 1862 spot 3. That's basically, instead of saying dot, they're saying spot. I'm just sharing with you just some of the parlance that traders use. Yeah. Yeah, I know it was kind of hard to I mean, now we're at a momentum check. It almost should take some off just to maximize profit, but it's like, look, we waited this long. Maybe we should just give it a chance to work out. So I'm in one lot there. Okay, well, the NQ trade, I just got picked up for one lot. So now we are looking for that area right around 4.9. We're waiting for that test of that 4.9 area. Now the problem with GC is it going to come back up and get back into my, am I going to get, worst case scenario, it holds that momentum there. And that I basically I took a trade that I could have got out here at a decent clip, 200 some odd dollars, and I have to take a loss on it. Just by giving it room. Because it's at a momentum check right here. Booyakasha. This GC is not selling it off, man. NQ is selling off where we want to see it. But, I mean, if it's, it's almost I should be a seller right here and a seller right here. And then, not there, but right here. I should be a seller up here on the NQ. Get taken out there. There we go, GC. You're starting to cooperate a little bit. I will take some off. I'll take some off on GC if it does get to 859 spot 3. Look at that. I sound like a real trader. Hey, there we go. I'm not giving GC any room. All of my stop losses are in profit. My trailing stops are in profit. So I'm not giving GC any room. Yeah, it's going to take me out too. Little bastard. I should probably be more patient with it. I'm just not being patient with anything right now. Yeah. So, I mean, that 250 level on NQ looks good, but it's slow. And we are running out of cash market time. So we're running out of cash market time. I got 2 more lots in the GC has taken out there. Brought up to 2,400, so that's not bad. Got taken out of the NQ. Looking to sell that level here. Well, the next level on the upside on NQ using chart 4 is obviously 1319. But we do have a extreme and a bias check on chart 2 that we could sell against. That's what I'm selling against. So, but we don't want to be too aggressive because once again, we're going against momentum. We don't want to fade it too much. I'm out of the GC trade. Don't see anything. We're running out of market time. I mean, not really. We're getting into the volatility time. So if we get into the 30-minute, you're going to see me trade a different style. So I would suggest if you're a new trader, you stop trading around 14:30 on a Friday, just because you can be on the wrong side of a trade really quick. What I would maybe suggest, maybe try demo, but you don't want to. But you don't want to do demo trades. Here's the thing. I'll share that you don't want to trade demo the way you wouldn't trade the real market, because then you're building a bad habit. So you got to be very careful about just going into demo trades and just playing around with the market, because you could be developing a bad habit. So, I'm like demo, you should be trading like it's the real market. Because if you're playing around in demo and you're saying, well, it's not real money, well, then you're going to carry that behavior possibly over to real life capital. You don't want to do that. So that's really key. Wow. Okay. Sweet. Very promising on a first test basis. Very, very promising. So, do we trade against this GC level? I think we do. Ninja Trader Shark, I'm going back in, man, at 1862 spot 2.
Order filled.
See if I get picked up there. I'm going to put some protective stops in case it does really rip, in case it does some serious rippage. But I'm trying to get in at 1862 spot 2, spot 0. Is the NQ going to roll over? It did do a momentum check. It didn't quite tag it. So that's what I'm trading against. We're calling the bluff on the move up here. So we're calling the bluff on the NQ. I'll do one more entry right around the extreme band on chart 2, right around the 310 level. And then we're not going to keep our stops. We're going to keep our stops a little relatively close there. So once again, we're running out of market time. I've not got a GC short. Oh, good job. You stuck with it. You know, it's actually, I think we're probably on the right side of that trade there. But I'm looking, I mean, I got out at profit. I'm looking to get picked back up at 1862 range on GC. Booyakasha. For those that are new or just join Discord down below. That's where we have the best conversations. We're working on some pretty exciting stuff too in Discord and the group. Members, if you're an alpha and you think that you should be a delta, you need to get in touch with me. Okay. I'll officially be talking about the transition process from an alpha to delta. But if you think that you should be a delta and you should be in the delta group, you need to get in touch with me, DM me and say, hey, I should be a delta. Okay. So free upgrade. Delta, the difference between being a delta is that obviously you have other issues that you're dealing with to kind of transition you as a trader. So we have very focused different discussions in delta compared to what we would be having in the alpha room. Not trying to box anybody out. I'm just telling you that as you transition to being a profitable trader with real capital, you're going to have new challenges that you're going to face that we have to focus on. And while we'll share it in the alpha room, sometimes these conversations have to be very focused so that they don't lose, that they're not lost in the stream of the alpha room. That's why we started. There's other reason why we started delta too, but your goal as an alpha is to become a delta. Like I said, no, I'm not. It's just a different private room in Discord where we have more focused discussions to kind of get you to the next level. That's what a delta is. So let's see if I can stay with this trade here on the NQ. Did not get, look at that. Just a tick below that GC trade. I have to get running with T to provide a very focused feedback. But yay! Home run. Sweet. Welcome to the server, home run. Like some of these names. Well, I might get picked up on GC. I might get out of this, or this NQ might be taking me out here too. Once again, don't expect a sell-off just because it's far extended and it looks like it's extended. The sell-off might happen on Monday or Tuesday. It might not happen today. So just because it looks far extended on all charts, it might just range out the rest of the day. It might just this might be the end right here. That might be the sell-off you're going to get. So don't be selling this market expecting a sell-off. It might just range out in this zone.
Order filled.
So I'm actually going long here because it might sell off here, but I'm going long for the next push up. So if you've been trading long enough and you're trading deep into the Friday session, number one, you're a dedicated trader. You love trading because no one trades deep into the close on Friday and that doesn't love trading. Or you're just addicted. So I'm either addicted or I love trading. It's probably both. But don't expect a sell-off that doesn't exist just because the charts are far extended. So, don't be making up trades that don't exist in the charts just because it is very obvious that it's far extended. That doesn't mean it should sell off. There's no reason why it should have to sell off here on Friday just because it's a Friday afternoon. Some people won't be taking profits. So, you would think, well, aren't people going to be taking profits? Like I said, don't expect that. So I am shorting the GC. We're on 2 lots, and then we're going to put our stops pretty close there because it's either going to turn right here or it's going to rip up and take us out. I am in 1 NQ lot. I'm trying to write it up. Looks like we're going to maybe end the day. Hopefully we'll end the day around $3,000. I mean, yeah, I think you're right on Monday, Tuesday. So, don't expect to sell off on Monday, maybe some follow through, and then maybe a sell off on Tuesday. But once again, we trade the market. We'll do pre-market that day. So we'll be looking at the market that day and to kind of see, okay, is there clues that there's a sell off? But I just want to stress, like I said, years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, this exact time, I would have been shorting the market like crazy saying, who's going to hold on the weekend? There might have been bad news and I would have been shorting. I'm like, whoever's holding, yeah, I have tested Bookmap, but I just don't need it. So I have tested it. I do like it. I do like that platform. I just don't need it. So you'll learn as a trader, reduction is important. So actually, one of the best skills you can learn as a trader is how to reduce your system down to the basics, just the basics. Because let me refer this to if you listen to Navy SEALs or you listen to people that do combat, number one, they're obsessive about the details, but they're obsessive about their gear because number one, they can't be in the middle of a firefight and not have reliable gear and not be fumbling around with stuff and not have to make critical decisions in the split second. So in trading, related to combat loosely, you want to reduce what you're looking at to a simplistic level because the more decisions you have to make in real time, the more confused you're going to be. So as a trader, you need to become a reductionist. So I do like Bookmap. I like it a lot. Bookmap. I do like that platform a lot. But if I add it to my analysis, I'm not really gaining anything from my skill level. Now, someone that's just adopting my system, I know there's a few people in our membership that do use it. Hey, that's awesome. Like I said, but for me, it adds an additional layer of information that I don't need to trade effectively. Maybe I should look at it closer and say, okay, maybe there is. But in my testing with it and my looking at it, it's not giving me additional edge for my trading. My biggest challenge right now is to not be super fader man. If I wasn't being super fader man in most of these trades, my P&L would be around $5,000 to $6,000 today. But I was being super fader man today. Part of 3 of my trades were super fades, and they weren't called for. So I'm falling back into the super fade trade habit that is not effective. That me trading against my system, because I really like to fade. I just love it. So, but that's not the purpose of trading. The purpose of trading is to pull capital from the market. The purpose of trading is for me to go to the market and say, hey, I'm pulling capital from you into my bank account. That's the purpose of trading. It's not for me to exercise my ability to fade. we might be calling it a day here. Anybody have any questions before we call it a day? I mean, I'm not going to call it quite yet, but I will answer a few questions as the market's kind of winding down here. If you have any questions, anything, I'll stay on another 10 minutes to answer a few questions. But I mean, I should be winding down the trading because obviously we're getting into the last half hour. We're going to see if this GC trade is going to work out. Hopefully it does sell off here. Not hopefully. I need to stop using that word. We'll see if the GC trade will sell off here. White Coma. That's another great name. I'm liking some of these usernames. I mean, actually, I haven't found a username yet that I haven't like said, hey, that's kind of a cool username. Well, we're really just sitting on low volatility. It's almost like the market stopped. Almost like the market stopped. That NQ is just being very stubborn. Wow. That's awesome.
Oh,
I'm just responding to. It's come alive. Yeah, I don't use overbought, but I would agree that that's kind of where it's at. So is GC going to sell off here, or is it going to just kind of take us out? Like, are we getting an opportunity to get some profit? Looks like I might end the day maybe around 2,500. Not really my typical normal. I'd say I should probably share my average and then update the average. Maybe I should do that. So I should go through my P&L and just update my averages. That way I kind of, on my P&L, I have a running average. So you can say, well, an average. I mean, I don't have my expectancy is so all over the map. It's because, like I said, this week I got chemo treatment. I was trading while I was on chemo treatment on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Like sometimes I usually take those days off and don't trade, but I felt good. I was offsetting it with like juicing and everything else. So I traded while on chemo treatment. That's probably not something I would recommend for most people. Like, don't be trading on chemo treatment. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just slowly committing to the downside. Stopped out. We're going to end the day around 24.51. Yeah. All right. So I'll do one more call. Otherwise, we're in the last 20 minutes of market. So any questions? If there's not, I mean, number one, join Discord down below. So you'll see a link down below, both on YouTube and TradingView. I'll answer any questions. Otherwise, there's no real reason to be trading the rest of the market because I think it's just going to range out here. So that GC trade's going to, and then my P&L right now is at 24.51. So not the best day that I've had, but pretty good for still being kind of getting over treatment. P&L, end of day. What did you end the day at? You end the day good?
Me? No, this is all because of the overnight trading.
Yeah.
Or they're just gonna put on watching market.
Relatively slow day for me. You can check my website, Rex Dog Trading. I share my P&L. I share my P&L on the website below. The P&L page. Also, streams are there. So, you know, might be ending the day a little bit off on that. All right, no questions. I thank you everybody for joining us. I'm going to get out of the GC trade. I'm going to exit everything. We're done for the day. Ended the day around 23.66. So, I mean, I might see one more trade I might execute if I'm still, the charts are still up, but it's only if the only trade I'm going to execute here would be like a spike. So like, I mean, well, I'm obviously entering the NQ for a move up here, but like if I see a spike up above this level, above 330, and I think that there's an opportunity to fade it real quick, I'll do that. Otherwise, I'm going to see if I can ride up 2 lots here, if I can get picked up on 2 lots, and I'm just going to call it a day. So this is the last trade for me here. And it's either going to rise up or it's going to take me out. So I'll give it another. I mean, really, I'm risking about $200 here for potentially, if it does move up to that range, we'd be around $600 to $800 possibly. So if it does move, but once again, we're deep into the closing session. So this is more just of, okay, is it going to do that move or not? All right. Everybody join us in Discord. I will be around this weekend, but Saturday we do have some stuff going on, but we'll be around this weekend. I'm going to start introducing my nephew to crypto trading more. So, because he wants to get really into crypto trading as well. So I'm going to start introducing him to crypto. So if you are a crypto trader, definitely he'll be starting doing some crypto trading. We'll start to talk about crypto trading more. Crypto is where I started. I started in Forex and crypto, but crypto was really kind of still has my heart. And then he's interested in trading crypto. So he's going to start getting involved in crypto trading, doing some futures crypto trading, some spot crypto trading, trading the system, because he's starting to get interested in crypto. So he's joining the cult. So he's going to join the cult of crypto with all of us, all us other crypto traders, and start trading crypto. So we'll be working on that this weekend here. All right. Thanks everybody for joining me. Once again, join Discord down below. I'll see you in the next stream.